He got him. He struck out the side. Deep to left field. You've got to be kidding me. Carlos Correa, recognized and honored before the game. A special video tribute. Big hug for his skipper, Dusty Baker. Buddy Lance McCullers Jr. on hand. Then his little guy came out for a picture after he was given the AL championship ring from 2021. His third American League championship ring, actually 2 AL rings and 1 World Series ring for Carlos Correa. As he returns tonight to Minute Maid Park, Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Blummer, always good to see Carlos Correa back in Houston, and a special night for him and for the fans.
Yeah, obviously the relationship was built in 2012 when he was the #1 overall pick for the Houston Astros. He turned into a phenomenal player and a phenomenal human being. It was really good to see him out there, but I think his son Kylo stole the show by clapping on cue. That was beautiful, but it's always good to have him back.
Yeah, Carlos saying he became a man here in the city of Houston, still calls this place home in the offseason. Tonight, Carlos will go against his former teammate Justin Verlander, who continues to lead the way for the American League Cy Young Award.
Yeah, we keep talking about it, and every time we talk about the Cy Young, we talk about Justin Verlander. He's missed out a couple of times in 16, 18, eventually winning it in 19, beating out Garrett Cole. But he looks like coming back from Tommy John surgery that he's bounced back incredibly, putting up phenomenal numbers. The 143 innings is going out there and leading the way, but he is also doing it in dominant fashion with that whip well under 1.
Only pitcher in baseball with a sub-2 ERA of all the starters. Our best in Texas power pitcher driven by Ford. JV facing a Twins team.
Yeah, if he's looking to continue to make a bid for that Cy Young Award, why not do it against a team that he's got great history against? And then you put him inside that Astros uniform. He has been that much better against the Minnesota Twins. He has thrown 36 innings, and I can't even believe that number's up there. 0.58 is the whip. Minnesota has not done anything against him in the time in that Astros uniform.
The guy with the best numbers against Verlander in this Twins lineup is his former teammate, Carlos Correa. Kyle Tucker looking for a 15-game hitting streak tonight. He is 1 shy of his career high as we roll on from Minute Maid Park on a Tuesday night. Presented by Whataburger. Treat yourself to Whataburger's all-new Bacon Blue Cheeseburger. Available for a limited time in participating locations. And by Rooms to Go. Don't miss the Labor Day sale going on now. Astros and Twins getting ready. Justin Verlander back on the hill for the Astros. He'll kick off this homestand and face his former teammate Carlos Correa. The Twins, the Astros, first of 3 from Minute Maid Park, right around the corner.
Draft. I feel so excited to be the #1 pick. I just worked hard to be here, and right now we are doing a great job, and I feel proud to be here and excited.
If you missed it earlier, he is now a part of the ball club, and he has just hammered one to left field. Carlos Correa, his first Major League home run.
There goes Correa! 21-year-old rookie shortstop.
Carlos Correa is your American League Rookie of the Year.
Correa hits this one out in the right center field. Altuve scores, and the Astros win it 2-1. Carlos Correa, the hero.
Here's a fly ball into right. Back at the wall. This game is over. And it's driven to deep left field for Correa. Grossman going back, and that ball is long gone. In the air, center field. Correa's watching. This is back, and it's gone. It's a walk-off home run. High fly ball to left. This ball is up and out. That's in the air to left. Here comes Fisher. Astros win it in 10.
For the first time ever, the Astros are baseball's best.
What a run it's been for Correa with the Houston Astros.
Some great memories there, as you can imagine. A buzz now when the Minnesota Twins arrive. That's because former Astro Carlos Correa returning to Minute Maid Park For the first time since becoming a free agent this offseason, there was a tribute video before today's game, a ring presentation for him to get his AL championship ring as well, presented by Dusty Baker and his really good friend, best friend, Lance McCullers Jr. But Correa, the #1 overall pick in 2012, when he arrived on the scene in 2015, this team went straight to the postseason for the first time in a decade and did a lot of winning since. It was a lot of fun to watch him in that Astros uniform for so many years. You saw the video right there, just so many memories. And it's special to him, too, to be back in front of these fans, saying in the press conference that it's going to be emotional these couple of days as he runs into a lot of faces and a lot of people that he knew so well with his time here. He still calls this place home. And, of course, going out to shortstop to play here on this field at Minute Maid Park will be as well. But once he crosses that line, guys, he's looking for a win for the Minnesota Twins. Should be a fun series, TK.
It should be, Julian. He'll be batting second today in Rocco Baldelli's lineup. Luis Arraez leads off. Then you've got Carlos Correa, switch hitter. Jorge Polanco bats third. Jose Miranda in the cleanup spot. Nick Gordon in center field. Max Kepler, the right fielder. Gio Urshela will play third base and bat seventh. Jake Cave in left field. And Gary Sanchez behind the plate will bat ninth, facing Justin Verlander tonight. Verlander kicking off this homestand against the Minnesota Twins. And his first pitch is fouled back. Astros starting defense is presented by Xfinity. Mauricio Dubon normally in center field when Justin Verlander pitches. Yordan Alvarez gets a start in left field. Kyle Tucker will be in right. Alex Bregman, Jeremy Pena, Jose Altuve, Yuli Gurriel, same cast of characters on the infield with Martin Maldonado, as per usual, catching Justin Verlander. Ground ball just foul. Verlander getting ahead of Arraez, 0-2. Astros coming off a 3-4 road trip, splitting 4 games in Chicago and losing 2 out of 3 to the Atlanta Braves on the road. It was their first losing road trip of the season, and it came in late August. Twins lost 3 out of 4 to the Texas Rangers at home in their last series. This ball popped in the shallow left. Bregman going out, and Pena calls him off. Yordan gives way as Jeremy takes charge for the first out. Correa, who was honored before the game, introduced back to the Minute Maid Park crowd, where he has made so many memories and had so many big hits in his career, and a tip of the cap from Carlos Correa to the Minute Maid Park crowd. Standing ovation from his own dugout. Here's his wife, Daniela. Gotta be a tough AB right here, you would think, Plummer.
You kidding me? This is home. He's digging into this box. It's just weird that he's digging in to lead off this game, or be the second hitter in this game. That's the odd part. It's amazing how these guys can get through the emotion and play the game, though. But there will be some palpitations that are foreign to Carlos Correa.
He has not faced Justin Verlander since Verlander was a Tiger and Correa was an Astro back in 2017. But in his time with Detroit, JB had trouble with Carlos as an Astro. 5 for 10, a double, a home run. But facing him for the first time in 5 years. Rounds a foul, it's 1-1. Carlos playing in his 97th game as a Twin. Takes a pitch on the outside corner, 1-2. Carlos has all of his family, all of Daniela's family in attendance today. They were on the field before the game. And that is a called third strike. JB dots it up on his former teammate Carlos Correa to pick up his first strikeout of the night.
Well, let's hope that Justin Verlander has the Carlos Correa slider going, because he threw 2 wicked sliders to get rid of Carlos Correa in that debut in that Minnesota Twins uniform here at Minute Maid Park. A couple of sliders on the outside corner, perfectly placed. Advantage Verlander early.
Now JV will face Jorge Polanco.
That was kind of rude.
That was some nice pitching right there. And that first pitch just missing off the plate, 1-0. Verlander pitched against Minnesota up at Target Field in early May the 10th. Correa, if you remember, wasn't on the active roster back then for the Twins. JV was brilliant in that start, eight innings of one-hit shutout baseball. Now down in the count, 2-0 to Polanco. That one's a strike. Verlander making his 23rd start of the season. A couple of no decisions in a row where he's allowed 3 runs his last 2 starts. Last time going 7 innings against the White Sox. And on that day, out pitching Dylan Cease, who went 5 innings and allowed 3 runs. That one drops a little bit low with a curveball, and Polanco, normally a patient hitter, seeing 4.26 pitches per plate appearance, top 10 in the American League. Ahead of the count here, 3-1. Swings with that pitch and fouls it away. Polanco leads the team in runs batted in with 55. Also team leading 61 walks. Been better as a left-hand hitter on the season. Swing and a miss. Justin Verlander starts off this game with a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts.
Fell behind, had to go to that four-seamer. He is not afraid to jump on that fastball and use it effectively.
Tonight has Jose Altuve at the top, followed by Yuli Gurriel and Yordan Alvarez. Alex Bregman has been on a great run. Kyle Tucker as well. Trey Mancini DHing batting 6. Jeremy Pena, Mauricio Dubon, and Martin Maldonado round out Dusty Baker's lineup.
Ex-Astro right-hander Aaron Sanchez on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. Started the season with the Washington Nationals. They no longer needed his services, so he eventually signed a minor league contract with the Minnesota Twins, now making his second appearance with the Twins on the season, a 7.68 ERA.
So Sanchez will face Jose Altuve. Aaron pitching with the Astros in the 2019 season. And Altuve swings and foul tips one into the glove of Gary Sanchez. And Jose starts the day with a .278 batting average, 20 home runs and 44 runs batted in. Altuve has 9 leadoff home runs. As he misses that pitch, and he's down to the count 0-2. Sanchez has been pitching mostly at the minor league level this year, not striking out many hitters. But he did strike out 8 Tigers in his one start as a Minnesota Twin. That was on August 1st, over 5 innings of work. He's a guy that's going to get a lot of ground balls if he is pitching the way he wants to with that sinker. Altuve with a count of 1-2. Sanchez, in his Astros debut, made history in 2019 after that Derek Fisher deal. Kicked off a no-hitter with 3 relievers in his very first start as an Astro. That ball into right center field and coming over Kepler to make the play. Ball slicing a little bit, and Altuve hit it hard, but lines out for the first out.
StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud, is going to show you the pitch usage for Aaron Sanchez against right-handed hitters. There's a sinker that TK was talking about. Usually gets a lot of ground balls if it's effective. Curveball and four-seam fastball are the secondary pitches, rarely a changeup. Against left-handed hitters, he will use that sinker quite a bit also, although lefties are getting to it at a .292 batting average.
First pitch to Gurriel's a strike. Yuli had a good road trip. As you can see right there, a 300 average, 9 for 30 on the trip. Picked up his 34th double along the way as well. This ball towards the middle, another line drive, but this one right at the second baseman, Polanco. So the Astros have hit the ball firmly twice, but have nothing to show for it. That'll bring up Yordan Alvarez. Yordan enters the game with a 1,009 OPS. Yordan takes a pitch for a strike, 0-1. Still leading the majors in hard hit percentage, but Yordan has seen those extra bases not quite to his normal numbers lately. Just one home run and a couple of doubles in his last 20 games. Yordan had that OPS over 1,100 for a little while at the end of July, and now it's at 1,009. Still leading the American League in on-base percentage at .400. Finds himself down in the count here, 0-2. Twins battling for a playoff spot. Minnesota, we mentioned, lost 3 out of 4 in their last series to the Rangers. They come in 2 games behind the Cleveland Guardians in the AL Central. They're also chasing that wild card as well. Currently 3 games behind Seattle for the last wild card spot as Yordan fouls one away. It's 2-2 still. There you see the AL Central standings with 3 teams within 3 games of each other. White Sox are playing in Baltimore tonight and trailing 3-2. Dylan Cease allowed a 3-run home run in the bottom of the first inning to Ryan Mountcastle. Astros will see the Orioles later on in this homestand. 2-2 pitch on the ground, backhanded by Arise, and Luis will flip it to Aaron Sanchez covering. And Sanchez has a 1-2-3 inning in his return against his former team. We're scoreless after 1.
What's your favorite all-time Carlos Correa postseason moment with the Astros? Just the postseason. 2017 LCS Game 2 walk-off hit, or in 2019 when he had the walk-off home run, or 2020 the walk-off home run in Game 5 of the ALCS. Put your vote in at ATT Sportsnet SW. All good moments, TK.
Yeah, all outstanding, memorable moments in Carlos Correa's Houston Astros career. Now, well, odd to see him in the Twins uniform back here for the first time. Jose Miranda will lead off against Justin Verlander. Miranda's been one of the steady cogs in the middle of this Twins lineup. Cleanup hitter who has kind of taken over in that role. The Twins have had their share of struggles in that cleanup spot, but lately Miranda has boosted that 4 spot. He's hitting .336 his last 34 games with a .924 OPS. 13th time in the cleanup spot for Miranda as he chops one foul. And Verlander getting ahead 0-2. Prior to those 2 straight no decisions for Justin, he had won 7 straight starts. sitting on 15 wins, still pacing the way in the American League. One out of play, stays 0-2. Still nobody else in the American League with more than 12 wins. JV probably will have at least 6 more starts after this one, maybe a 7th, depending on how the Astros shake things out with all these off days and a 6-man rotation. This one popped high in the air, shallow left. In fact, it's now in foul territory for Jeremy Pena, who will put it away. Pena's taking charge on a couple of those fly balls, still shallow left. One away here in the second. It is a Twitter Tuesday. Our topic is Carlos Correa today and his return to Minute Maid Park. What are your all-time favorite moments and memories from Carlos Correa's time with the Astros? He has said he went from being a young man to a grown man in his time in Houston, and he will continue to call Houston his home. Game 5 walk-off in 2020. Always love the jump with Correa and Altuve after scoring. '19 walk-off against the Yankees, landed about 30 feet from Jake. Nick Gordon, the batter, taking one inside for a ball, 1-1. Gordon, one of the Twins who hit well on that recent homestand, hit .333 on that homestand. Minnesota scoring just 6 runs against the Texas Rangers in that 4-game series. That was the fewest run total in a 4-game series for the Texas Rangers that they've ever had. They had trouble with runners in scoring position, just 2 for 26 in that series. Actually the lowest run total since 16 in a 4-game series for Minnesota. This one gets away from Maldonado. It's a strikeout for Verlander. But Nick Gordon's going to be the first base runner of the game as he strikes out on a pitch in the dirt and reaches first base.
Master Firm Supermo is going to show you that curveball. Maldi down with that one knee. Did his best to block it, but it ricocheted off that glove and got plenty far enough away to allow the speed of Nick Gordon to get himself on first base even after striking out.
So 3rd strikeout for Verlander, first base runner for either side, and now Max Kepler the batter. JV having to work out of the stretch for the first time. Kepler around a bunt. Takes a strike. Max has had all kinds of trouble against Justin Verlander. As you can see right there, 1 for 21 with 8 strikeouts.
Explains why he squared around.
Right. Verlander with those 3 strikeouts now tying Pedro Martinez. 14th all-time in Major League Baseball history in strikeouts. He and Pedro with 3,154. Next on the list is a moving target, Max Scherzer. He's 3 behind Max now for number 13. Just a piece to stay alive. How about the walks compared to strikeouts? He has had more than 100 consecutive starts with more strikeouts than walks.
I think he's in the lead.
That means he couldn't have had any starts where they were equal. Right now he's up 3-0 in strikeouts to walks. Continues to pound the zone and continues to pick up strikeouts. Maybe not the highest strikeout totals we've seen in Verlander's career, but he's obviously been as effective this year as we've ever seen him before.
And I think the reason he's in the lead by that much is because he's one of the few good fastball to strike out Max Kepler. And that pitch right there is why I believe that he is in such a big lead in that category of having the more strikeouts than walks, because when he does fall behind 3-1, 3-2, he's one of the few pitchers that will continue to attack with his fastball in the zone.
With this strikeout, Justin Verlander now passing Pedro Martinez. The last three he has passed on the strikeout list: Kurt Schilling, Bob Gibson, and now Pedro Martinez. He's number 14 by himself right now in MLB history. Here's Gio Urshela. Urshela takes a pitch down for a ball. Verlander looking for 3 strikeouts in the inning. Gordon reached on a strikeout and wild pitch. He's already matched his strikeout total from his last start, over 7 innings against the White Sox. That one's up 2-0. Astros kicking off a 6-game homestand tonight with a first of 3 against Minnesota. They will also face the Baltimore Orioles for 3. Those are the 2 teams closest in the chase to the wild card picture. Currently Tampa Bay, Toronto, and Seattle are all bunched up as the 3 wild cards, and Baltimore 2.5 back and Minnesota 3 back. Very similar in terms of the importance of these games to what the Astros just went through on that road trip facing Chicago and Atlanta. Teams they're playing in desperation mode here with about 40 games to go.
Got things a little more concerning in Minnesota after talking about that series in Texas where they've lost 3 out of 4.
Today having to put one of their best players on the injured list, Byron Buxton.
Yeah, that's some heavy production and defense going on the injured list.
Buxton left the game last night with a right hip injury. Goes on the IL today. Swing and a foul tip caught by Maldonado. A 3-strikeout inning for Verlander. 5 strikeouts in the game. So far, the only runner to reach was on a strikeout wild pitch.
Houston Methodist talking about the guy hitting right now. It's Alex Bregman, who has played really well right here at Minute Maid Park since the break. You see the average 438, 5 home runs, kind of going off in the month of August as well, but just putting up great numbers in front of the home fans. And the mechanics is his key, guys. I know he's talked about this a lot lately, but just really trying to beat into his head in the cage to stay close. We saw him have a great game, of course, the career day in Chicago for him, but he's been doing this not just since the break. He's been doing this for months, TK.
Yeah, you see the road trip numbers, continues to hit well. Bregman has really been the catalyst in the middle of this lineup, and he starts things off here in the 2nd inning with the Astros' first base runner of the game, Alex Bregman, a base hit into right center field.
Yeah, Alex's success has really coincided with kind of the coolness of Yordan Alvarez, doing a good job of protecting him. But he also knows that Aaron Sanchez is going to be heavy on the fastball. Does a good job of getting himself on time, in position to be able to pull those hands through and shoot that to right field to get things going. He's very comfortable spraying the ball all over the ballpark, too.
The other hot hitter in the middle of that lineup at the plate right now, Kyle Tucker, 1 away from his career high hitting streak of 15 games, which he set earlier this year. Tucker right now, a 14-game hitting streak and 1,080 OPS during that streak. First pitch off the plate, ball 1. Rob Drake, the home plate umpire tonight, part of Todd Tichenor's crew. Astros had the day off yesterday. Minnesota played yesterday in Minneapolis. It was a night game. They flew in here afterwards and didn't get to their hotel until about 3 o'clock this morning.
Self-induced sleeplessness.
2-0.
Talk about Tucker having a pretty good time swinging the bat here of late. Last 15 games. There's that 1080 OPS that TK was talking about. Driving in 17 runs and hitting .390. Now Tucker in a groove right now. It's good to see him and Alex Bregman tearing it up at the same time.
Just a little low. Good take by Tuck. It's 3-0. It's a 14-game hitting streak over the span of 15 games played for Tucker, because he had one game in Cleveland where he pinch hit and drew a walk. So that does not impact your hitting streak, but it was a game played during the hitting streak. Tucker 3-0 swing, fouls one back. Trey Mancini DHing, he's on deck. Astros playing game number 58 at home this season. They've already played 66 on the road this year. So including tonight, 24 more home games and just 15 more road games of their remaining 39. Three-two pitch is sent in the air to center field. Nick Gordon will come in towards right center and make the play. So Tucker, after getting ahead 3-0, flies out to center field for the first out. That'll bring up Trey Mancini. Trey trying to snap an 0 for 7. It was a tough road trip for Mancini. Did hit a home run. I went 2 for 18 in the road trip, including a couple of RBIs. Mancini's been mostly a DH, his 9th start as the DH of his 13 overall starts with the Astros. Takes that one off the plate, 2-0. Sanchez now 30 years old. Second team he's pitched for this season, his 5th organization at the major league level of his career. Started out his career, spent a lot of years with Toronto from 2010 through 2019. Then that trade to the Astros on July 31st at the deadline of 2019. Giants last year, Washington and Minnesota this year. There's that big hook that starts at the right-hand hitter and drops in for a strike, 2-2. Swing and a miss. He gets Mancini with that same breaking ball. This time he moved it off the plate for his first strikeout.
The Astros Legacy Brick program is back. Be a part of Minute Maid Park and customize your own brick to be placed in the ballpark. Visit astros.com/bricks to leave your legacy today.
That'll bring up Jeremy Pena.
How about how this guy's feeling? He's the one that replaced Carlos Correa, and he's seeing the other guy on the other side get all the love.
Yeah. Pena was one of the guys who embraced Correa right before the game. Carlos told him at the end of last year.
He was incredibly gracious about everything.
So this could be your team next year. You could be the man at shortstop, so get ready. Be a lot of breaking balls for Pena down the stretch, you would think. Jeremy struggled with the breaking ball in that last road trip. 12 strikeouts and 24 at bats during the trip. Sanchez has a good hook, as we have seen already, striking out Mancini for the second out. It's a fastball here, and of course it's dotted up on him on the inside corner, 1-2.
Yeah, you can throw that fastball when you get the hitter thinking about that slider or curveball. If it's not a secret to us that he's struggling with that off-speed pitch, it's definitely in the forefront of Jeremy Pena's mind.
Sanchez. They give him another fastball as Sanchez wanted that one up, and Pena sends it into right field for a base hit. Bregman will go first to third as Jeremy Pena picks up a 2-out base hit for the Astros.
And when you get the gift of a fastball, don't miss it. So good job by Jeremy Pena right there, taking that fastball maybe on the inner third a little bit, inside outing it and firing it the other way to get that base hit, moving Alex Bregman all the way to third base. That'll get some of the confidence going again. For Jeremy Pena, it's not about just hitting the slider or hitting the curveball. It's about not swinging out of the zone on those pitches. If he can lay off the pitches out of the zone, he's going to get some better counts and maybe some better pitches to hit and get that smile going a little bit more frequently.
Now Mauricio Dubon will bat. Dubon and Sanchez were teammates last year with the Giants. Sanchez made 7 starts and 2 relief appearances for the Giants last season. Dubon had a nice road trip. 6 for 16 on that trip, hitting .375. That one starts at him and never breaks on the plate, 2-0. The thing that was most unusual about that no-hitter that Sanchez was part of in his first start as an Astro in 2019 is he had really struggled with the Blue Jays before that trade. Came over with a 6.07 ERA after 23 starts with Toronto that year. That one towards right field for an RBI base hit. Dubon flips the bat away. He gives the Astros a 1-0 lead. 2-out RBI single for Dubon.
Good hitting by the Astros here in this part of the order, taking some of these pitches from Aaron Sanchez and going the other way. That curveball stayed on the plate, and Dubon using that shift to his advantage, just getting on top of it, hitting a ground ball the other way for that base hit and RBI.
So 3 base hits for the Astros, 2 coming with 2 outs here, and an early 1-0 lead against Sanchez and the Twins. A little meeting on the mound here with Martin Maldonado due up.
The outfielders all the way around doing an extremely good job since August 16th. Chas McCormick in on the mix, Mauricio Dubon. We've seen Trey Mancini, Yordan Alvarez out there. Jake Myers had a decent road trip, but you see leading the way, first in batting average at .345. That OPS is first also, getting on base and hitting the ball hard.
Maldonado lays off that first breaking ball. It's 1-0. Aldi 2 for 19 on that last road trip, playing in game number 91 on the season. Fastball foul, that'll be out of play. It's 1-1. Twins had to make 2 roster moves today. We mentioned Byron Buxton placed on the IL. They did select the contract of Aaron Sanchez today from AAA St. Paul. You have a pitcher limit, so the left-handed pitcher Devin Smeltzer, who was just activated a few days ago, had to be optioned back to AAA. And they also recalled a catcher, Caleb Hamilton. So they're going with 3 catchers for this series as Maldonado takes a strike. It's 1-2. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball. Maldonado goes down on strikes, but the Astros get the first run on the board. A run on 3 singles. Mauricio Dubon making it a 1-0 game.
The third time for the Dugout Report, presented by Jack in the Box, talking Justin Verlander, who returns to work here and has already passed Pedro Martinez with 14th on the all-time strikeout list, with 5 already today through 2. This is a guy that wants to pitch for a long time to come and will continue to climb up that list if he does so. He talked recently, it's been a couple starts now, but talking about how he had talked to Nolan Ryan, of course Hall of Famer, about pitching at this point of his career, and that he and Nolan will both tell you that they're not getting better at this point. They're just adapting. They use the knowledge that they have about their body, of how to face hitters, and it's possible to maintain your stuff. You just got to stay healthy, and then you can continue to pitch for years to come, and that's Justin's plan. So he may not be counting these strikeouts like he was in the past, even with the 5 that he already has tonight, but he is very content with getting those quick outs. TK, you mentioned in this earlier, but does take a lot of pride in the fact that he can work deep into games, and we saw that last time out in Chicago.
Yeah, he averages 6.5 innings per start. That's second most in the American League. His teammate Framber Valdez right behind Verlander. The only guy they trail is Johnny Cueto, who has kind of found the fountain of youth again with the White Sox and is pitching very deep in most of his games. But JV getting a lot of innings pitched per start, 22 starts and 143 innings coming into today, as he's 2-1 here on Jake Cave. Cave playing left field tonight, getting a start against Verlander. Cave 0 for 5 in his career against JV with 5 strikeouts. As he fouls one back, it's 2-2. Pulled down, the count goes full. Cave making his 11th start of the year. Called, third strike. Cave took one near the knees, and Justin Verlander has 6 strikeouts, 1 out into the third.
I think J.K. was trying to sell that walk. That is a pitch. Yes, it missed its spot, but it did not miss the zone at all.
Now 0 for 6 with 6 punch against Verlander, who's now tied with Max Scherzer for 13th all-time on the strikeout list. Here's Gary Sanchez. He takes a strike. Sanchez against Verlander in his career, a lot of at-bats. Not a lot of success. 2 for 28 with 9 strikeouts against JV. And a foul tip caught by Maldonado. Verlander quickly ahead 0-2.
Some late life on this heater. 96. Still got it in the tank. I like the idea of adapting. That's definitely what Justin Verlander has done, and it's been effective.
Verlander finished last week 3 strikeouts behind Max Scherzer. Scherzer pitched against the Yankees last night and only struck out 3 in 6 2/3. Oh, JV's already caught him with 6 strikeouts. And a swing and a miss. Verlander moves past Mad Max, 13th by himself on the all-time strikeout list. JV has 7 strikeouts first time through the lineup.
That was a beautiful slider. I tell you what, the fastball looks good tonight. Both spin pitches look very good tonight. He's effective. He's in the zone early with them. And then when he needs to go get that wipeout pitch, he's able to get there and get to that spin. Seen a couple of strikeouts on that slider, and then we're seeing some late life on the fastball.
First time through the lineup, 7 strikeouts and 2 pop-ups.
I'll take that. That's not adapting. That's overwhelming.
Now Luis Arraez taking one down. Luis has one of the 2 pop-ups. He is the hardest hitter to strike out in the major league. 7.7% strikeout percentage. So not surprising. He's one of the 2 Twins who have put the ball in play. And missing just below the zone 2-0. Chopped off the glove of Verlander. He recovers, and his throw in time to get a rise. Justin Verlander knocks it down, stayed with it. Another 1-2-3 inning with 2 more strikeouts.
JV still pretty agile. Does a good job of getting that glove up there, knock it down, check the runner. Plenty of time. One of the better fastballs, getting that out right there. 1-0 Astros.
Been swinging it well lately. We saw him have a great road trip. In his last 10 games, though, he's had 15 hits, the OPS at 829, scoring a lot of runs. Yuli looking confident up there. I asked Alex Sintra, the hitting coach, what's going on with Yuli, what he likes about it. He said he's got that good position. The hands are back. We talked about that a few times this season. There's also a focus on the front side and where he lands. He was doing some landing forward. He was landing forward, causing him to be late on fastballs, miss off speed, and now he's landing a little bit closer to his body, putting him in a better position to make some good contact. And I mentioned that confidence, and you see it a lot in him lately. It gets everyone going, guys.
All right, Julia, Jose Altuve, first pitch swinging, pops one up. The second baseman, Jorge Polanco, puts it away. 1 pitch, 1 out for Aaron Sanchez in the third. And here is Yuli Gurriel, who lined out his first time up. 286 his last 49 games coming into tonight. Has moved that average up at game time to 247. Yuli takes a first pitch fastball for a strike, 0-1. Astros getting a run in the second inning with 3 singles. Alex Bregman, Jeremy Pena, and Mauricio Dubon against Sanchez, who misses wide here, 1-1. That's going to be out of play. Yuli finds himself down to the count 1-2. Sanchez picked up a couple of strikeouts last inning, but in his last 9 minor league outings, he had fewer strikeouts than innings pitched. He did strike out Mancini and Maldonado in the second, as Yuli puts the bat on the ball but hooks one foul. Maley placed on the IL as he was acquired from the Reds, so Sanchez taking his spot here in the rotation. Yuli puts the ball on the ground, slowly hit. First chance for Carlos Correa in his return to Minute Maid Park, and he makes it for the second out. That'll bring up the big man, Yordan Alvarez. What a special night it is for Yordan Alvarez, as He is playing in front of his family, his dad, his mom, his brother. The first time they have seen him in a major league game. His dad, Augustine Eduardo, his mother, Marilyn, and his brother, Yonder. They've already got the Space City gear.
You better believe they do. I'm sure Jordan's hooking them up, and I'm sure the Astros are hooking them up too. It's great to see them in the stands, and I have a profound respect for Cuban players just because of the issues they have getting to the United States. Obviously, things may be a little bit easier these days, but the ability to come out here and watch their son play, beat it out.
That should be a hit.
It should be a hit.
And an error.
We'll take it.
So they got to see their son pick up a base hit. First time at a major league game. That'll be a hit and an error, Blummer.
I can't imagine how nervous Jordan is playing in front of his family here now in the big leagues. But it is such an exceptional issue for them to get their family here, number one. And again, I played with several Cuban players in the past, and the stories they would tell about how excited they would be just to play here in the States. But some of them would play for years, finish their careers, and never have their family watch them play in a big league stadium. Blew my mind. So to have his family here, I can't even imagine how exciting it is for the family, number one, to be here in Houston enjoying this ballpark and watching their son play. But I guarantee you, Jordan's just as excited.
And he's played almost 350 major league games, debuting at 19, and here he is with his parents and his brother in attendance for the first time. Julia, what did you have a chance to catch up with Jordan before the game?
I did, and you know, this is Mr. Cool, Calm, Collected, doesn't give us a lot of emotion, but he smiled in a way I've never seen him smile before to talk about his parents being here and getting there on Friday, and just, he said it was emotional. It's emotional to be able to welcome them here to Houston, and a really great day for the family. This is something we talked about after the deal was made, the contract extension. It's just, he calls home, he talks to them every day, and it's just so great for that entire family. His wife, Monica, up there sitting with them to have them here in the ballpark.
Jordan picks up the only hit of the inning. Bregman said that he fouled that pitch, but that is not how it was ruled by Rob Drake, so that'll be a strikeout to end the inning. Sanchez picks up his third strikeout. The Astros still lead 1-0.
A big night already, 7 strikeouts. He's gotten 4 on the four-seamer, 2 on the slider, 1 on that curveball. Everything has been working very well for Justin Verlander. We've seen him get up to 96 miles an hour on that fastball. That spin has looked amazing. The slider has been nice and tight, moving on the outside corner. Got a couple of looking strikeouts with it.
First pitch fastball in on Carlos Correa. He got called out on one of those sliders on the outside edge his first time up. Correa 752 regular season games with the Astros from his rookie season of 2015 through last year. And you could hear his reaction to that pitch in 2-0.
JV spent a lot of time watching those Carlos Correa at bats, probably quietly locking things away in that database on how he wants to approach him. So far, a couple of fastballs in. Maybe he'll stay with the fastball, but he used that fastball ineffectively in that first at bat to set up that outside corner with the slider. Then again, I think even if he didn't set him up for that slider, those 2 that he threw to strike him out were pretty good.
That one popped foul. Maldonado gives it a look, but it will be off the netting behind the Astros dugout. It is a Twitter Tuesday. Your favorite memories, thoughts, reflections of Carlos Correa's time as an Astro. Getting to meet Correa after his middle school sang the national anthem. An awesome moment for that young fan. 2015, Correa's debut.
I was there, along with Stephanie. Is that McTaggart's line?
Yep.
He's not listening. I can use it.
He's here, but he's talking to Kevin Eschenfelder right now, so he's busy. Correa with a 2-2 count. Verlander's slider, 11 pitches thrown tonight. 1 swing and a miss and 4 called strikes. Stays with a fastball just below the zone. Tough pitch for Correa to take. But it was a good take. It's 3-2.
Good take, tough pitch. This is one of those takes where you say there's no chance I'm getting to this. Hopefully he calls it a ball, and he does.
Stayed with the fastball against Correa this at bat, and he gets a ground ball to short. The current shortstop throws out the former shortstop, and there's 1 away here in the 4th. I'll bring up Jorge Polanco. Polanco struck out his first time up. Takes a pitch off the plate for ball 1. Up ball towards left. Long run for Alvarez towards the line. Now he eases up and puts it away. Polanco flies out for the second out. And now a word from Taqueria Sarandas.
I am Jeremy Pena of the Houston Astros, and my favorite food is at Taqueria Sarandas.
Here's Jose Miranda. Miranda popped up his first time up. Verlander has faced 12 batters so far, and there has not been one hard hit baseball, which is 95 miles an hour or better. Arise the closest with a 93 mile an hour ground out that Verlander made the play to end the 3rd inning. That went down and away, 1-1. Verlander now 11 2/3 innings on the season against the Twins, has allowed 1 hit and 2 walks, and has struck out a dozen. Only struck out 5 Twins up at Target Field in his 8 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball earlier this year. This ball tapped foul, 1-2.
It was one of his more impressive games on the season. A couple of walks, 5 strikeouts like TK was talking about, but going 8 innings in a big league ball game these days and throwing 89 pitches, that's impressive. Almost as impressive as Jordan Montgomery the other day, throwing 99 pitches in a complete game for the St. Louis Cardinals.
How good has he been for the Cardinals?
He was good for the Yankees. He's been even better for the St. Louis Cardinals.
1-2 pitch, just a little tapper. Mentioned Miranda trying to provide a little pop in that cleanup spot for the Twins. Their cleanup hitters this year have the 2nd fewest RBIs of any spot in their lineup, with the 9 spot being the fewest, and the cleanup spot the 2nd fewest runs batted in. Had a lot of different guys in that cleanup spot, but nobody's really taken hold until Miranda lately. That ball's off the plate, and the count goes full after JB got ahead 1-2. Miranda battling, staying in the count. It's now 3-2.
Such a good slider, 3-2. Most of these pitches from Justin in this ball game have been on the edges. They've all had a purpose. Even the mistakes he's made by not hitting his spots have ended up being pretty good pitches in the zone. But in a 3-2 count, to be able to spin that slider just on the edge and force a panic swing is very nice.
That ball hit pretty well to right field, sending Tucker back at the wall, puts it away. Longest at bat of the game. Miranda, seeing 8 pitches against Verlander, lines out to the wall and right for the final out of the inning. So Tucker makes the play to end the top of the 4th. They'll lead off the bottom of the 4th. Astros lead 1-0.
Television producer Murphy Brown on El Grande before today's game and presented him with a jersey there too. Murphy spending parts of 5 decades in Houston sports broadcasting, starting with home sports entertainment. He saw many great moments in Houston sports over the years, was in the truck in the 80s and 90s. Our executive producer recently retired, and we thank him for everything, the leadership, the friendship. We wish him the best. Guys.
Yeah, what a career. Congrats to Murphy. Middle of the baseball season, he said that time is now before you get crazy with basketball starting up. So he is going to enjoy life and kick back a little bit, enjoy that next chapter.
Good for him, well deserved.
Kyle Tucker leading things off for the Astros here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Tucker flied out to center field his first time up. Takes one down and in for a ball, 1-1. Tucker coming in 3rd in the American League and runs batted in with 82. Got to a 3-0 count last time before Sanchez worked the count full and then got him to fly out. This ball hit pretty well to right center field all the way back, and that is off the warning track and into the bullpen. Kyle Tucker matches his career high with a 15-game hitting streak with a double into right center.
Another good swing by Kyle Tucker. Maybe got a little bit too quick at 92 miles an hour. Those hands flying through that zone. Hit it hard, did a good job of splitting Gordon and Kepler out there, one hopping it into the bullpen.
Well, the Astros with their 5th hit, that's their first extra base hit. Here's Trey Mancini. Mancini struck out his first time up. Sanchez, the only Twin who didn't arrive at 3 in the morning today. He got in here yesterday while the Twins were playing against the Rangers back in Minnesota. Last pitched on the 14th at the minor league level. He's working with 8 days of rest before this start. He misses wide, 2-1. Last 2 minor league starts, Sanchez threw 77 and 68 pitches. He's in the mid-50s right now in the 4th inning. Mancini chops a foul, 2-2. We got Carlos Correa in his return tonight to Minute Maid Park, and Trey Mancini will have an interesting next series as he'll have his former teammates coming into town. The Baltimore Orioles follow the Twins in here for a 3-game weekend series. Orioles are leading the White Sox 4-2 in the 6th inning. They've knocked Dylan Cease out of that game.
Yeah, that'll be his first experience against his old ball club. We also get an opportunity to take him to Baltimore in late September and see their crowd's reaction to getting Trey Mancini back in their ballpark, albeit in a different uniform.
That's going to be a big-time homecoming.
Yeah.
tonight was huge for Correa, obviously. That's going to be equally as big, you would think, for Trey.
Yes. Everything he went through with that organization probably left a lingering love for him in that community also. How about the fact there's probably nobody cheering harder for the Baltimore Orioles and Trey Mancini to get into the playoffs? Double dip on that playoff bonus?
That's right.
How about you?
I'm sure other than the 3 games here and the 3 games at Oriole Park at Camden Yards, Trey doesn't mind seeing the Orioles win as much as possible. And if things stay the way they are, which is currently an 11.5 game lead, that series in Baltimore could be the landing spot for champagne being poured by the Astros, but we're still a long ways away from magic numbers and clinching scenarios. But right now, the 11.5 game lead would put it somewhere in that series. Hooks this ball towards the corner and left. Long run for Cave, and it's going to be foul. That ball kept hooking, and in fact, it hooked into the glove of that fan with the Correa orange jersey.
Pretty good play right there. Got to be located perfectly to make that catch look easy.
Mancini has seen 12 pitches from Sanchez tonight, all curveballs. 13. This one drilled to center field. Well hit. Back goes Gordon. He leaps. It's over his head and off the wall. Tucker to third. He'll be waved home. Mancini and RBI. Double Astros lead 2-0.
Looked like Nick Gordon had a beat on that for a while, and all of a sudden it just extended a little bit further and snuck over his head for that RBI double. Trey Mancini, seeing plenty of those curveballs, finally got one that he could handle. Did a good job of putting his nose on that one and also put the barrel on it, and was able to twist that one over the head of Nick Gordon. Just out of the reach. 105.1 off the bat, so Trey Mancini did a good job of recognizing and keeping those hands back to drive it to center field.
Now Jeremy Pena will be the batter. Pena singled into right field his first time up and gets a fastball. Actually, that's a changeup running in for a foul ball, 0-1. So back-to-back doubles. Tucker and Mancini make it a 2-0 game. I guess after you see 12 curveballs in a row, you can look for a 13th.
Yeah, but if you throw 24 in a row, you'd think somebody'd get to it too.
True. Well played. How about a bunt attempt by Pena? He tried to bunt that one too finely down the third baseline with the surprise there of the bunt. He probably could have put that one somewhere near the pitcher and still been as effective.
Yeah, there's no way Urshela was going to get to any of that. It would have been all on Aaron Sanchez to try and make a play on that.
I like the idea by Jeremy, though.
Yeah, not a bad idea, especially with nobody out. Worst case scenario is they make a play on you and Trey Mancini's at third, less than 2 outs.
Now Jeremy down to the count 0-2. And after getting beat with a fastball last time, you would expect Sanchez to come back with a curveball against Pena here. And he sweeps it off the plate, 1-2. .60 pitches in now for Aaron as we play here in the fourth. And he does see another curveball and goes down on strikes. That's 4 strikeouts for Sanchez, 1 out in the fourth inning. Celebrate the 2021 AL Championship with the ALCS Ring Giveaway Days. All fans will receive an ALCS replica ring, and one lucky fan will take home their own ALCS Elite Fan ring, including real diamonds, white gold, and personalization. Find tickets at astros.com/rings today. Carlos Correa receiving his ALCS Championship ring today. Lance McCullers Jr. and Dusty Baker greeting him behind home plate before the game. Dubon on the ground towards short. Correa will make the play. Over to third goes Mancini. Dubon retired for the second out. Here's Martin Maldonado. Maldonado struck out on the curveball his first time up. Plays off that first one, 1-0.
Curveball in this inning.
How about that?
Granted, a dozen of them finding their way into the Trey Mancini at bat. Or over the 2 at bats, he's seen 12. It's only the 3rd sinker he threw in that inning.
Maldonado grounds one slowly towards Carlos Correa, and that will do it for the Astros, but they add a run. A run on 2 hits. Astros lead 2-0 at the end of 4.
Jeremy Pena moving into that shortstop position for the Astros for the first time this season. And guess what? 13 defensive runs saved for Jeremy Pena. That is good for 7th in Major League Baseball and best amongst AL shortstops. We have seen him in that shift position, moving to his right, moving to his left. He has gotten dirty. He's also used Yuli Gurriel quite a bit over there at first base, picking him up, but also showing some ability to elevate to get some big outs. That was a big play back in Seattle. But Jeremy Pena with some big shoes to fill and doing admirably.
Pena will shift over to the first base side of second base with Nick Gordon batting. The Astros employ 3 on the right side of the infield. Gordon the only one to reach base today for the Twins. And he reached it with a strikeout and a wild pitch. That was with 1 out in the second inning. Verlander struck out 7 first time through the lineup. Now second time through, facing his 5th hitter. Hasn't struck out any this time around. But he's 1-1 on Gordon here. It'll be Nick Gordon, Max Kepler, and Gio Urshela. First 2 hitters lefties against JB. Verlander with 60 pitches through 4 innings. Rocco Baldelli calling on his trainer here as Nick Gordon has something in his eye. Rocco in his 4th year now managing the Minnesota Twins. Finished first in his first 2 seasons, and then last year a tough year with the Twins finishing in last.
This is one way to disrupt the timing of Justin Verlander.
Michael Salazar, the head athletic trainer out there, talking to Nick Gordon. And now a word from Gallery Furniture.
Play your Tempur-Pedic sleep set today at Gallery Furniture. Gallery Furniture delivers free tonight. You'll sleep great tonight.
It's a rather lengthy discussion here about something in your eye, unless there's something else going on.
Well, he took a massive cut at the previous pitch. Can't use too many center fielders going down for the Minnesota Twins.
They were trying to avoid Byron Buxton going on the IL. He has been playing hurt a lot this season and has been avoiding the injured list. But they finally decided that this last hip issue was enough to put him on the IL. He was trying to get through the full season without going on the injured list for the first time since 2016. but in late August finally goes on the IL. Swing and a miss. That is number 8 for Justin Verlander, getting Nick Gordon to start the 5th.
Talked about how good the spin has been for Justin Verlander. Right here, he snaps off a pretty good one right here. 80-mile-an-hour curveball, starting in the zone and breaking quickly down out of it.
That'll bring up Max Kepler, who was called out on strikes his first time up. Kepler showed bunt last time because of his career numbers that we showed you against Verlander. Now 1 for 22 with 9 strikeouts. Was trying to figure out a way to get on base in any form against JV. Swings at that high fastball and finds himself down to the count 0-2. Good article this week in The Athletic by Ken Rosenthal, talking to a lot of people close to Justin Verlander, including JV himself, about this incredible season at age 39 and how he's kind of enjoying life a little more, enjoying being on the mound, being around his teammates more than ever before, kind of stopping and smelling the roses in between starts, maybe something he didn't do when he was as hyper-focused earlier in his career.
Yeah, the Tommy John surgery used to be a catastrophic injury. Now it's an injury that these guys are able to work back from. But then you add into the mix the age factor. Kind of complicates things a little bit, although you have a tough time arguing that with Justin Verlander, who's bounced back incredibly well. And then you add family to it, and there's also all of a sudden you've got a different perspective.
Another strikeout of Kepler. Second time he's gone down. 9 strikeouts for Verlander tonight. 2 outs in the 5th. Astros Charity Night is back. Join the Astros and AT&T Sportsnet for a special night on Friday, September 9th. Add to your sports collection while donating to a great cause. All proceeds benefit the Astros Foundation. So we'll see you Friday, September 9th for the Astros Charity Night only on AT&T Sportsnet. There's Gio Urshela. Ball popped high in the air, foul, and out of play. 0-1. Now, one thing Verlander talked about in that article was about communication and how he feels like he's become a better listener and thus a better teammate. And he always was an excellent pitcher and a fine teammate, but he's taken it to the next level this time around, where he is on his start days obviously hyper focused, but some of those other days we're seeing him around a lot more talkative, a lot more enjoying life a little more in between starts, I guess you could say. And he said that family, spending time with them in those 2 years, 20 and 21, without pitching, kind of changed his whole perspective on things. Urshela, the only one to put the ball in play this inning, and he doesn't put it in play with high exit velocity. A little slow ground ball to Bregman. JV rolling along. 5 innings worth. Only a strikeout and a wild pitch has reached base for the Twins. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Shoppish John Deere, the build it, price it, own it tool exclusively at Shoppish. All things John Deere. Pretty line score for the Astros and Justin Verlander as Jose Altuve takes the first pitch for a called strike. Altuve 0 for 2 today, trying to snap an 0 for 8 overall. He is lined out and popped up. Top of the order, facing Sanchez for a 3rd time around. Sanchez started the inning with 68 pitches. His one major league start as a Twin, he threw 81 pitches. His 2 other starts in the minor leagues this month, he has thrown less than 80 pitches. So we'll see if this is his final inning. Inside, and that clips Altuve. Or did it? Yeah. Jose not real happy as he looked out at Sanchez.
Not at all. That's about as much emotion we've seen from Jose Altuve. Has been thrown out a lot this season. This will get the fellas out of the dugout. Gary Sanchez playing mediator, saying it's okay, fellas, but I would imagine there's plenty of guys in that dugout who have Jose Altuve's back.
As Altuve was walking up the line, Sanchez tried to talk to him, and Altuve didn't really want to hear it, and that's when the dugouts came out there. And now Carlos Correa is going to be mediator and go talk to his former double play partner about things.
I don't know if you noticed, one of the guys at the front of the pack there, newly acquired Trey Mancini. It's kind of growing on me.
Astros acquired some big guys at the deadline.
Oh my gosh, do they ever? You got David Hensley in there too, who's hasn't played yet.
Sanchez is still wanting to talk to Altuve, and I'm not sure what he's trying to say to him, but whatever he's trying to say, Altuve doesn't want to hear. Sanchez is just trying to explain himself, and I think he's frustrated that he can't talk to Altuve.
It was a pretty immediate reaction from Jose Altuve.
He throws that sinker, and it's going to have some run into right-hand hitters. So I don't think he was trying to.
It's only the third hit batter this season for Aaron Sanchez.
So
Ex-teammates too.
Yeah. 4 starts here with the Astros. Sanchez last start with Houston in 2019 had to leave with an injury in that 4th and final start as an Astro. Everything's fine now. Arise pats Altuve on the shoulder, and Jose will be a leadoff base runner here. Yuli Gurriel, the batter.
Over under on how many pitches before Altuve takes off.
He has 12 steals this year, and Sanchez thinking the same thing. Gurriel takes one off the plate, 1-0. Astros have their leadoff base runner on for the 3rd time in 5 innings. The previous 2 innings with the leadoff runner on. That runner scored. Now it's 2-0. Now a 3-0 count. Maybe that little hit by pitch in the exchange unnerved Sanchez a little bit.
Yeah, just looking on Baseball Savant, seeing some of those fastballs they've missed on the inside edge, maybe about 4 of them, 5 of them, but they've all been borderline. Now, got them rattled. Let's look at the Febreze Fresh stats. The Astros now with a couple of runners on. They've done a great job with runners on, and to that point, 3 hitters in this lineup for the Houston Astros have 70-plus RBIs. That guy right there that just went deep, Kyle Tucker, he is sitting on 82. Yordan Alvarez, he is on the precipice of getting into that 80 threshold, but Alex Bregman's really the guy that's kind of burst onto the scene and busted through that 70 plateau with 72 RBIs.
The umpires are telling Pete Mackey, the pitching coach, that when they came out to discuss things, that might have been a visit. And so if that's the case, this is the 2nd visit. And
boy.
And then Sanchez has to be lifted from the game. That's unusual because.
And unfortunate for Minnesota.
There's nobody warming up in the bullpen right now. And they had no intention of taking Aaron Sanchez out of the game. Baldelli's trying to explain he went out there to to try and break up a little discussion between the two teams that it wasn't a visit. And I have a tendency to side with Minnesota on this one.
No, I'm with Rocco Baldelli. I agree. Everybody came out. You could have put a visit on anybody in that ball club. Because in that situation, I would imagine the coaching staff is going out trying to calm down Aaron Sanchez and the situation, not making an intentional visit.
And they have to make it very clear to Rocco that that counts as a visit.
Agreed. Yeah, usually they'll point to us up here in the press level saying that was a visit. They'll point to the dugouts and declare that that was a visit.
This is unfortunate, but I believe they're going to have to lift Aaron Sanchez from the game.
But I think that Rocco Baldelli, if he is as smart as we think he is, will argue this as long as he possibly can to get somebody loose.
I mean, he hasn't even thrown a pitch off the rubber yet, Cole Sands. So
Rocco's going to sit out here and talk as long as he possibly can to keep this thing going, to get that guy loose out there. But it's unfortunate. I'm with you in the sense that I don't understand how you can declare a visit when you're trying to calm down the situation with both benches clearing. You had about 45, 46 guys on the field.
Rocco just had a recent incident on a blocking of home plate where he called it one of the worst calls he's ever seen in his baseball career. This one's going to rank right up there for Rocco. He is fired up and he's going to be ejected. Todd Tichenor, the crew chief, throws Rocco out of the game. I don't think the Astros were even asking for this to be the second visit. I think the umpire crew took it upon themselves.
No, I completely agree with you. I got to commend Rocco right here, though, for extending this a little bit, allowing that bullpen to get loose. That is very unfortunate.
So Sanchez clips Altuve, and he's still talking with Altuve a little bit. He clips Altuve with a two-seamer, a sinker that hit him on the thigh that he felt like just got away from him. Altuve took exception to it. Sanchez just wanted to talk to Altuve about it. And now Sanchez is going to have to be lifted after throwing 4 pitches to Yuli Gurriel out of the zone. And this is not what the Twins had planned when their new pitching coach, Pete Mackey, who was just recently named former bullpen coach when Wes Johnson took a job in the collegiate ranks. So Rocco unfortunately didn't want to take Aaron Sanchez out, but he is going to. So we'll have a pitching change. Sanchez will have to leave the game as they declare that a second visit for the Twins. 2 runners on, nobody out, and a pitching change here in the 5th. Sanchez, they didn't intend for that to happen, so Rocco talking to Aaron right now. This is Rocco Baldelli talking to the umpires after Jose Altuve was hit. And the umpires...
He goes up on the mound and has a little bit of a visit, I guess. Yeah, keep an eye on the umpires here. Rob Drake, the home plate umpire, pulling out his scorecard, marking on it what he perceived to be a visit. It looks like he's conferring with his other umpires to make sure that that was a visit. And right about here, he points back to us and says 1 visit on the visiting team, the Minnesota Twins, and there's that first visit.
Obviously, that's something Rocco didn't see or the bench didn't see.
Yep, unfortunately.
I feel like they probably need to verbalize that because that was an unusual.
That was a chaotic moment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's too bad. I mean, Sanchez had to leave the game earlier than they wanted to. Baldelli's been ejected. Now Cole Sands, the new pitcher.
Cole Sands is a fastball, slider, curveball, changeup pitcher and had enough time to get loose out there in the bullpen because of the work of Rocco Baldelli. Taking his time, chatting with the umpires. Some of the numbers on Sands as he comes into this game, only going to be his 9th appearance. Overall, with a couple of starts mixed in there, he has a 6.75 ERA, thrust into a tough spot here.
Swing and a miss at the breaking ball. Sands getting ahead of Yordan Alvarez 0-2. Yordan singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Chance to pick up his 80th RBI of the season with Altuve in scoring position and nobody out. Sanchez goes 4 innings plus 2 batters, allows 6 hits. He walked his first batter, Yuli Gurriel, on 4 pitches after he hit Jose Altuve, and leaves with 75 pitches. That one down 2-2.
Sands throws a lot of off speed. He likes that curveball, likes that changeup. He'll throw that fastball maybe about 50% of the time to left-handed hitters, and then it'll be a 20% split between the curveball and changeup.
This is the 6th time around for Sands. He's been back and forth between St. Paul and the Minnesota Twins as he picks up a strikeout here of Yordan, getting him on that breaking ball for the first out. So Sands a big strikeout here with 2 runners on and now 1 away.
Slow breaking ball sweeping across the plate. Yordan not picking it up.
Here's Alex Bregman, a single run scored. He is also struck out. Two of those 6 times up with the Twins this year. Sands has been the 27th man for a doubleheader. Appearing in his 8th game overall, his 5th out of the bullpen for the Twins. Astros saw him back on May the 12th, a couple of innings. Bregman fouls one away. Now Sands, after getting ahead of Alvarez 0-2, is 0-2 on Alex Bregman. Last 2 appearances for Sands since being recalled on August the 5th have been 1 inning outings, but everything else this year has been multiple innings. You would think tonight, coming in here in the 5th inning, the Twins would like to see him give them multiple innings. Tries to get Bregman to chase, which Alex rarely does. 2-2.
Yeah, they've got to get something going right here. This has been an odd inning, to say the least, and the Astros would like to be able to capitalize on it.
It's already been a 15.5-minute half inning. So a lot of time for Verlander on the bench this inning. Broken bat pop-up, shallow center. Could it fall? It does. Barehanded by Polanco. That'll load up the bases. Alex Bregman, a broken bat blooper. A single into center.
Nice piece of hitting by Alex Bregman right here. Looks like he got a little bit of a changeup that ends up dropping out there in center field. Does a great job of getting that base hit and setting things up for Kyle Tucker, who now has the bases juiced.
Astros have 7 grand slams on the year. Tucker has 2 of them. And 3 in his career. Tucker did face Sands on May 12th at Target Field and struck out on a fastball looking. We saw only changeups and fastballs in that at bat as he looks at a changeup down, ball 1.
How about these numbers? 10+ walk percentage, sub 20 strikeout percentage, 80+ contact percentage, and then your isolated power. of 200 plus, and Kyle Tucker is on there with Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, and a couple of other really good ball players.
Infield in, Correa is going to make the play home and to first, and they double up Kyle Tucker. Bases loaded ground ball into a double play to end the inning. So the Astros had a rally and a threat going, but Cole Sands extinguishes that rally, and it's still 2-0 Astros.
See the Astros versus the Orioles. Get your tickets today at astros.com/promotions. Lance back on the bump this weekend and taking a picture with Carlos Correa and Kylo. Dusty Baker obviously in there too in the ring presentation for Carlos. Oh, that moment got me, not gonna lie. Kylo clapping it up. Excited to be in the picture, and then godfather of Kylo, Lance McCullers Jr. Those two extremely tied, of course, getting drafted. At the same time, working their way through the minors, becoming best friends. Daniela down on the field. Really neat pregame celebration for the return of Correa, guys.
Yeah, so cool. Kylo, awesome out there.
Hamming it up. He stole the show.
Yeah, he did. And Jake Cave will be the batter. Justin Verlander had about 18 minutes in between the end of the 5th inning and the start of the 6th inning. It'll be 8-9-1 for JV to face here in the 6th. Cave struck out looking his first time up and has an 0-2 count to start the 6th inning. Verlander with 72 pitches has thrown between 12 and 18 pitches in every inning. One way upstairs off the plate, 1-2. Better than a 2 out of every 3 strike to ball ratio. 51 strikes, 24 balls so far for JV in his first 75 pitches. Upstairs again, 2-2. Cave 0 for 6 in his career against Verlander with 6 strikeouts. Verlander looking for a 10th strikeout in the game. It'll be the first time he's gotten a double figure since July 16th. After going 0-2 on Cave, he's gone full, missing with some fastballs. Got ahead with the breaking stuff, then missed with 3 fastballs. We'll see what he goes with here, 3-2. Swing and a miss, beat him with a fastball. That's 10 strikeouts for Verlander. 3rd time this season Verlander's had double figures in strikeouts.
Finally got that fastball where he wanted it. It took a little while to get there, but still highly effective, even in that 3-2 count where you've got Cave probably sitting on that fastball, unable to catch up to it.
Now Gary Sanchez, also a strikeout victim, his first time up. A lot of these Twins have struggled in their careers against Justin Verlander. Max Kepler now 1 for 23 with 10 strikeouts. Cave 0 for 7 with 7 strikeouts. Sanchez 2 for 29 with 10 strikeouts.
I know that Gary Sanchez came over from the New York Yankees, but it's still fascinating to me to see an entire team have issues with one guy. You expect the success of Justin Verlander to be against a handful of these guys, but the way he's pitched tonight, he's been in absolute attack mode and suppressed every one of these guys in that lineup so far, trying to get the second time through this lineup.
All 3 of Verlander's 10-plus strikeout games have come at home this year. 0-2 on Sanchez. Struck out a season-high 12 Mariners on June 7th and then 10 A's on July 16th. He's got 10 punch-outs tonight on Minnesota as we play here in the 6th inning. Last time he struck out more than 10 Twins in a game was back in 2016 when he was a member of the Tigers, and he struck out 11 on the road. Next one up on the list as he passed both Pedro Martinez and Max Scherzer tonight. Next one up on the list for Verlander is Ferguson Jenkins. Verlander's at 31.61, Jenkins at 31.92. Obviously, Mad Max and JV can keep flip-flopping as the year goes along, but the next one after those guys is Fergie Jenkins. So he could get to Fergie easily this year, and then beyond that, probably be next season before he gets to Phil Niekro.
I have thoroughly enjoyed running through this list of strikeout leaders in the history of the game. So I appreciate Justin Verlander taking us on a tour through history as he starts to climb his way up towards those top 15, top 10s. It's pretty impressive.
Currently number 13 all time. And just the last few starts, Schilling, Gibson, Pedro, and for now, Max Scherzer. This ball popped up. Maldonado gives it a look, and he's going to have room. Puts it away behind home plate. Sanchez pops up for the second out. Time to play Name That Astro, powered by Reliant. Tonight's clues are as follows. Twin Cities launch, Southpaw success. Come on back. Name That Astro, powered by Reliant. If you know, go ahead and send your guesses to @ATT Sportsnet SW. Here's Luis Arraez, a pop-up and a comebacker to Justin Verlander. That comebacker to Verlander hit at 93.1. Not officially a hard hit baseball. You have to get to 95 for the baseball savant or StatCast to register it as hard hit. So only one hard hit baseball tonight. That was when JV faced Jose Miranda with 2 outs in the 4th, and he lined out to right, sending Tucker to a few feet in front of the wall. 1-0 pitch drops in there for a strike, 1-1. Astros 2 runs on 7 hits. The Twins' only base runner, Nick Gordon, who struck out in the 2nd inning and reached on a wild pitch. Now it's 1-2. This is when the at-bat starts sometimes for Arraez. Nobody with a better batting average with 2 strikes. He's a .279 hitter with 2 strikes. Chops a foul. Arraez keeps battling once he gets down to the count. Verlander will make his 90th pitch with his next delivery. Will match the most pitches he's thrown in any inning. JV has a season high of 108 pitches thrown. That was when he struck out 12 Mariners here at Minute Maid Park on June 7th. Stays 1-2.
You would imagine Arraez would put together a pretty tough battle. He's a very good hitter, very good contact hitter.
92.4% contact percentage, the best in baseball.
Wow.
Verlander just looking for that final out. Knows it's difficult to strike out Arraez, but he's just looking to try and get out of this inning in the low 90s with his pitch count. Arraez leading the American League in hitting at .327. A little cue shot towards Bregman. Alex will make the play, and that'll do it for the Twins here in the 6th inning. Justin Verlander, in the middle of a potential Cy Young Award season, is having a brilliant night tonight. Astros lead 2-0.
It's Blue Shield. Back in 1998, the air show was going on in Chicago on the north side, scared everybody out of the box, and then eventually Brad Ausmus would get up there and hit a couple of rockets off the end of his bat for a couple of base hits. He would hit a home run in that ball game. Eventually go 4 for 4 in that ball game, but always an interesting time when you have the air show going on while the game is going on.
And we heard some of their practice sessions going on last week when we were in Chicago. They just had the air and water show this past weekend.
It's a very good time and very loud.
And those planes, it's unbelievable how close they get to some of those buildings downtown. Coming off Lake Michigan, Trey Mancini takes a strike. It's 2-1.
We played a game there while the air show was going on, and LaTroy Hawkins was in the set position as Mancini gets a base hit to left field. LaTroy Hawkins was in his set position, ready to come home when something similar like that happened as a jet comes flying over. Everybody in the ballpark jumped except one guy, LaTroy.
Wow.
Cool as could be, just sat there. You hear the plane go by, and he just casually takes his right foot off the rubber, disengages. I was in absolute awe of the calmness of LaTroy when that happened. That was amazing. LaTroy will do some broadcasting, some color commentary for the Minnesota Twins.
Base hit for Mancini is the Astros' 8th hit. Justin Verlander's at 91 pitches right now through 5 innings. The Astros have their bullpen going. Ryan Stanek beginning to warm up. So that might be it for JV.
How about that, considering the game he's pitching right now?
Ground ball towards Correa. Correa gets the 4. Still have no chance to get Pena on the turn. Mancini forced out at second base. Pena reaches on the fielder's choice. 1 out in the 6th inning. Enjoy the sweet swing of Uncle Mike and be one of 10,000 fans taking home a Michael Brantley Dr. Smooth bobblehead this Saturday, presented by Veritex Community Bank. Visit astros.com/promotions for tickets today. JV allowing 1 base runner through 5 innings of work. Through 6 innings of work. Struck out 10, but it appears his night might be over at 91 pitches through 19 in that 6th inning. Verlander working with a full 6 days of rest in between. He last pitched Tuesday in Chicago. The Astros will now have another off day coming up next Monday. So if they stay with the 6-man rotation, he'll go back-to-back weeks pitching with a full 6 days of rest. Roberto Celestino, former Astro minor leaguer, has taken over in center field. So whatever was bothering Nick Gordon earlier in this game has forced him from the game. So Verlander ends his 2 starts against the Twins this year with 14 innings in 2 starts, allowing 1 hit. He went 8 innings of 1-hit baseball at Target Field May 10th and did that tonight. One pitch is fouled at the plate, 1-2.
Yeah, if he is out of this game, you fill out his line score pretty quickly. 6 innings, 10 strikeouts. Did it all throwing 91 pitches like you were talking about, and his spin was working like crazy tonight.
Great curveball and slider, maybe the best all year.
We watch him a lot. He's going to know better, obviously, than we do. But that was the best spin I've seen from him, both the slider and the curveball. And we saw it early on with the command with the slider. But did a great job of mixing in that curveball. It was a phenomenal game for JV.
Called 3rd strike. Dubon, who rarely strikes out, goes down looking. Well, Sands picking up his 2nd strikeout out of the bullpen. 2 outs in the inning.
Borderline call that went the way of Sands.
Going back to JV's time with Detroit against Minnesota, his last 9 starts against the Twins, he's not allowed any more than 4 hits in any of those starts.
I think that qualifies as ownership.
23 hits allowed in 9 starts against the Twins, his last 9. That is remarkable. It's about 2.5 hits per start, and he's gone 8 innings 3 times, 7 innings a couple of times, 6 innings tonight. So it's not like he had limited innings there. So including tonight, 61 innings pitched, 9 hits allowed.
Sounds like fun. Might have a bad hamstring.
I'm sorry, 23 hits allowed. My bad.
Still, either way, I'm still going to have a hamstring issue if this guy's on the mound and I'm wearing a Twins uniform.
61 innings, 23 hits in his last 9 against the Twins. Trying to win his 22nd career game against Minnesota. And now if you break it down to his last 6, obviously all of them coming with the Astros, now you've got 42 innings and a 0.64 ERA. And tonight, 10 strikeouts. Martin Maldonado batting with 2 outs and a runner on first base. Maldi has struck out and grounded out tonight.
Jeremy Pena is going to get a jump start on the whole situation.
Last time Verlander faced Dylan Cease head-to-head, it was advantage Verlander in the Cy Young race. Tonight, they both pitched on the same night. Verlander pitched much better than Cease tonight. 3-2 pitch is a called third strike at the knees. 3 strikeouts for Sands. He has picked up 2 innings worth of work, allowed a couple of hits so far and no runs. Justin Verlander obviously has the rest of the night off. 6 brilliant innings for Verlander as he continues to have an incredible 22 season.
Game summary. Things got started with a Mauricio Dubon base hit going the other way, beating the shift, driving in Alex Bregman for the first run of the ball game. And then Justin Verlander went to work, and the slider was working extremely well. The fastball was working even better, and also the curveball was mixed in there. 10 strikeouts in 6 innings. The only base runner to reach was on a pass ball on a strikeout. And Kyle Tucker and Trey Mancini go back-to-back in the doubles to drive in that second run of the game. And that's where we sit. Justin Verlander leaving this game with a beautiful line score that you see in front of you, with the Twins having not scored. Down to the Astros 2 here in the top of the 7th, and it's going to be Ryan Stanek who's going to be our Crawford Buck call to the bullpen. 45 games this season. He has a 1.31 ERA. It was a rough road trip for that bullpen. But the Astros looking to get this bullpen in here and close this game out for the Houston Astros.
So Stanek gets the meat of the order. Carlos Correa, Jorge Polanco, and Jose Miranda here in the 7th inning. Verlander leaving after 91 pitches. And now Stanek on in the 7th. Correa struck out and grounded out against JV. Everybody in the lineup had at least 1 strikeout against Verlander, with the exception of the leadoff hitter Luis Arraez, who doesn't strike out against anybody. And also Jose Miranda, who's the only one who had a hard hit baseball on the night against Verlander. Only 1 baseball hit at more than 95 miles an hour tonight for the Twins. This ball sinking fast. Dubon can't make the play as he lays out and catches it on 1 hop. The Twins have their first hit of the night. And it comes off the bat of the former Astro Carlos Correa to lead off the 7th inning.
So much irony in this. He gets on that slider on the outside corner. Fortunately for him, he gets it off the end of the bat, takes a lot of the steam out of it, and doesn't allow Dubon to get there in time to make that catch.
Now Jorge Polanco will be the batter. More memories of Carlos Correa on our Twitter Tuesday in his time with the Houston Astros. Polanco takes a called strike. And the Astros bullpen on that recent road trip saw their ERA move above 3. The Yankees now have the best bullpen ERA in Major League Baseball coming into tonight. So they'll try and get back in that #1 spot with a strong homestand as Stanek gets ahead of Polanco 0-2. The first hit of the game, Carlos Correa for the Minnesota Twins. Verlander's 6 innings, no hits, no walks, 10 strikeouts. One of the 10 strikeouts reached base on a wild pitch. Verlander throwing 19 pitches in that 6th inning. Splitter stays up 1-2. For Verlander, it was his lowest pitch total in a start since he got knocked out by the White Sox in the 4th inning on June 18th. You wonder, though, if he was in the upper 80s instead of the low 90s after 6, if he would have gone one more. But at 91, Astros deciding that was enough tonight. So the top 3 for the Cy Young. Verlander had the lead coming in, and he extends his lead with Dylan Cease giving up 4 runs tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. Verlander now leads by .40 in ERA, and the whip's not even close.
That whip actually goes down to .85. Not giving up a hit or a walk in this game.
Aldi tried to make that catch on the foul tip. Polanco stays alive. Yeah, it was almost 6 perfect innings, but that wild pitch off the strikeout took it off the perfect game status. Have to face the minimum 27 hitters. Will Smith beginning to loosen up in the Astros bullpen. Stanek with a 1-2 count here. Next hitters are righty, and beyond that, you've got back-to-back left-hand hitters, and 3 out of 4 due up. So Stanek might only get 3 batters in this inning. Polanco 3 for 5 in his career with a couple of doubles against Stanek. 2 times he's been retired, he has struck out. Swing and a miss. He got him 100 miles an hour on the fastball.
Bringing it, finally reached back and ramped up. Up top with a hundo.
So now Stanek will face Miranda. Jose Miranda, only one with a hard hit baseball tonight against Verlander. 0 for 2 on the night. Ryan facing this right-hand hitter for the first time. Fouls that one out of play. Miranda from Puerto Rico, playing his first season in the major league. Pretty famous cousin, Lin-Manuel Miranda, the creator and star of Hamilton on Broadway, is a cousin of Jose Miranda. This time around, he has made a name for himself. 84th game of the year, second on the team in RBIs. Has 29 RBIs in the Twins' last 34 games. Goes after that pitch, 99. Ryan Stanek with a 100-mile-an-hour strikeout and a 99-mile-an-hour strikeout. 2 away in the inning with a runner on first. Now a word from Topo Chico.
Crisp taste, legendary refreshment. Topo Chico Hard Seltzer, a real winning lineup.
Actually, they had a righty due-up now with Celestino in the game. It wasn't Nick Gordon who was taken out, so Celestino, one more batter for Stanek to face with Kepler on deck and Will Smith warming up. Want to know the count. Celestino batting for the first time. See his numbers on the year. Celestino made his debut with the Twins last year, played 23 games. Originally with the Astros beginning in 2016. He was signed as an undrafted free agent by Azacampo and Roman Acumares, and then traded to Minnesota in the summer of 2018, along with pitcher Jorge Alcala when the Astros acquired Ryan Presley.
There's a shocker. Somebody Azacampo signs and ends up in the big leagues. He's done a phenomenal job for the Astros over the years with the international signings. And there was a little bit of a talk from Maldonado saying it's all right to get back in the zone with your stuff. Fastball's been well into the upper 90s. A couple of good splits mixed in there too.
Gets that call off the plate. 2-1 the count. Celestino not happy with that call.
Yeah, Maldi may have gone out to Stanek and says, hey man, throw it in the vicinity. I'll get you the next call. He got it for him.
It's a big difference in this at bat. 2-1 instead of 3-0. Now he misses 98 on the corner and the count evens up.
Now that 3-0 to 2-1 changes everything. It gives the confidence to Ryan Stanek to get back after that outside corner. And sometimes it'll put that hitter in defense mode, and now you're down 2-2.
Line drive caught by Yuli Gurriel to end the inning. Hit hard by Celestino, but he's the final out. One hit, one man left on base. First hit of the night for the Twins. 7th inning stretch time. Astros 2, the Twins nothing.
All fan Jose Altuve ALCS replica ring giveaway this Thursday, presented by Gallery Furniture. Get your tickets today at astros.com/promotions. Blemmer.
For the best coverage in the game, here's a look at our T-Mobile coverage cam. That last play by Yuli, right man, right spot. 99.5 mile an hour line drive coming right at him as he jumps off the bag. Thank goodness for that big old first baseman's glove. Might sting a little bit, but gets him out of the inning.
So the Astros maintain that shutout. The no-hitter is gone as Jose Altuve fouls one away. Altuve hit by a pitch, started out a very strange 5th inning. It would end with Rocco Baldelli ejected and Aaron Sanchez lifted from the game before the Twins wanted him to be taken out. Altuve got hit by a pitch and then a little back and forth. Sanchez wanted to just explain himself to Jose. And Sanchez walked Gurriel on 4 pitches, but while Baldelli was out there, he ended up on the mound, and Rob Drake, Todd Kitchener, the crew chief, said that counted as a visit. Obviously the Twins weren't aware of that. As later on in the inning, Pete Mackey, who's now their pitching coach, formerly their bullpen coach, went out to the mound, and he was informed that he had to take Sanchez out for the second visit. But Sands has done a nice job since coming in there.
Sands has done a really good job. It's been a mix of fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. Yeah, changeup's a little bit more of a split coming from Sands, but a lot of it has been a little bit slower in velocity and doing a good job of keeping the Astros off balance and kind of reaching for some of the pitches. But maybe this second time around against him, they'll be able to make the adjustment and get to him. Because he's using that fastball you see right there at 92 miles an hour a little bit later in counts. He's not using the fastball to set up the off speed. He's almost using the off speed to set up the fastball.
Astros were the original team to draft Sands back in 2015 out of high school in the 22nd round, but he did not sign with them. Altuve lines one over the head of Urshela towards the corner. That should be 2, and it will be. Jose Altuve, a leadoff double for the Astros in the 7th.
Altuve did a good job of recognizing this curveball coming in. They wanted it on that outside corner, but he did a great job of staying closed on that pitch that started at him and then broke over the middle part of the plate. Able to keep those hands back long enough to be able to throw the barrel at it and get things going with that double down the left field line.
Now Yuli Gurriel will bat. Yuli 0 for 2 with a walk, takes a pitch for a strike at the top of the zone. Yuli thought it might have been up. Astros have had the leadoff runner on the last 4 innings. They cashed in the 4th inning with back-to-back doubles by Tucker and Mancini, but the leadoff runner in the 5th and the 6th failed to score.
Yeah, it would behoove them to go out there and try and score a couple of more runs, extend that lead a little bit.
Really trying to shoot one the other way and advance Altuve down the count now 1-2. Mentioned Sands can give them multiple innings, and he is tonight, pitching in his 3rd inning out of the bullpen. The Astros drafted him out of North Florida Christian High School in Tallahassee. Ended up going to college where his dad went, Florida State, and then was drafted by the Twins. This one off Sands, and that's going to end up near Carlos Correa. That'll be an infield hit. That ball in the air for a little while, caught Sands on a line, and he'll have to be checked out on the mound as that ball ended up ricocheting off him and in between short and third for a base hit for Yuli.
Not hit hard, 73.7 miles an hour off the bat, but hard enough to not allow Sands to get a glove on that. It looks like it ricochets off his right arm on our Mattress Firm Supermo.
Right near the elbow.
That is not good. So location is a little bit of an issue on where that ball hit him. You're right. But Altuve kind of stuck. Wanted to advance, but wasn't able to because it didn't bounce far enough away from anybody.
Yeah, they're trying to test out the flexibility of that elbow right now. And
that's it.
Pitching arm.
No chance.
Hitting a line drive off the elbow. There's no reason to take any chances there. Oh, Jason Kirkman, the assistant athletic trainer, said that's enough tonight. And he will walk off with Cole Sands. So now we'll have a new pitcher, and they'll have as much time as they want to warm up, because nobody's been warming up in the Twins bullpen. So the Astros will have runners on first and second, a double by Altuve, an infield hit by Gurriel. Nobody out in the inning, and a pitching change when we come back.
Carlos Correa in the house gives us a chance to look back on that rookie season. 2015 called up on June 8th. So this was already months into the year, and look at the numbers he posted that year. giving him that American League Rookie of the Year award and also helping this club head back to the playoffs for the first time in a decade. It was impressive from day one. I'll never forget that flight to Chicago when the news was announced and the guys cheering in the back of the plane, excited for the type of player they would be adding to their roster. Blummer.
It was an exciting time. That's when things started to turn around for the Astros in 2015. And Carlos Correa being drafted in 2012, the first overall pick. And first player from Puerto Rico selected first. Jeff Luhnow taking a chance on him and paying off greatly. There's that June 8th MLB debut, eventually turning into the American League Rookie of the Year, leading the Astros into that playoff situation. And then the big year, 2017, made his first All-Star team, and the Astros win their first World Series title. 2020, the COVID year, lackluster as far as the season was concerned, but the postseason absolutely dominated with some walk-off home runs and big hits again. And then 2021, second All-Star appearance, and he added the Gold Glove and the Platinum Glove to all of his offensive accolades, something he worked incredibly hard with Joe Espada on, achieving that goal, being the best defender in baseball. Carlos Correa, storied career here in Houston.
More tweets on Twitter Tuesday about your favorite recollections, memories, thoughts on Carlos Correa and his return to Minute Maid Park. Adeline said that he met Correa on her birthday. St. Patrick's Day with the Green Unis back in 2016. Correa always had time for Astros fans, a special bond. Obviously grows between certain Astros players and this fan base, and Carlos had as good a relationship with Astros fans as anybody.
Yeah, he worked hard at it too, so you got to give him a lot of credit, the foundation, and to the point where he said he's going to call Houston home. So very special time. We got the most out of Carlos when he was here. This is actually what's kind of odd for me is we went through Minnesota. We had our chance to reunite, talk to him a little bit, had some great things to say about Jeremy Pena, who took over. But we didn't see him in uniform. Right. Now you see him in uniform, and it kind of settles in a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Yeah.
The thing I always remember, too, is how he kind of took over that leadership role for a bunch of talented players.
In a very, very tough, complicated time, he came out as the voice of the Astros. And I think that's the part of him that actually really grew up and became that leader, vocal leader for a ball club.
It's got to be strange to see him next to Altuve wearing different unis, but the two good friends now stand next to each other wearing opposing jerseys. At all those years, the double play combination here in Houston.
Do you think Altuve is like, hey man, it's good to see you, Jorge. You'll never be as close to him as I was and still am. We used to have the best time together. We would tell jokes on the field. Do you guys tell jokes?
I missed that part too. Because Jeremy
was highly entertaining.
Jeremy could eventually get there, but he's still a rookie and he wants to be laser focused. But Altuve and Correa basically played the game with the same childhood enthusiasm you're seeing from the guys in Williamsport these days playing in the Little League World Series.
And you're right, though. That's the same way Altuve, a seasoned veteran with Carlos in 2015, kind of had to develop that relationship and nurture it. And then it turned into what you see here, where it's just, it went from big brother to little brother, and I don't mean in size. I mean, and then it turned into just brothers. They were just equals, and that was a lot of fun to watch unfold.
We have a new pitcher in the game. Both times the Twins have gone to their bullpen. It was kind of unexpected. Now Trevor McGill takes over after Sands has to leave after being hit by a line drive.
Yeah, he will be making his 27th appearance, getting time to get loose in this ball game. He'll have to face Yordan. Very similar situation to what we saw in that fifth inning, where we saw Yordan come up and face Sands. This could be a unique opportunity for Yordan Alvarez to get things going in his own right against McGill. It's going to be heavy on that fastball, but he likes throwing that curveball to left-handed hitters. And Yordan struck out last at bat against Sands on the curveball.
2 on, nobody out. Yordan, the batter, takes a pitch on the breaking ball inside, almost caught him on the arm. And it's 1-0. Yordan 1 for 3, playing in front of his parents and his brother in from Cuba. First time they have seen him in a major league game. And the fans starting to give Jordan an MVP chant. There they are. His father, Augustine Eduardo, his mother, Marilyn. His brother kind of shielded there. You can see him in the gray and black cap. Yonder Alvarez. There's a called strike. Counts 2-1. They've already seen their first base hit watching him live in a major league game. Now they can watch, see if he can connect on his first major league RBI with his parents in attendance. Ground ball towards the middle. Correa will race to the bag, step on the bag, and turn two. Well, the Twins getting 2 outs there on a comebacker over the mound, gloved by Correa. Altuve moves to third on the play. Cole Sands came in out of the bullpen with first and second, nobody out. Got out of that inning with a big double play, getting Tucker with the bases loaded. And now McGill picks up a big double play with first and second, nobody out again. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman sends one high, sends one deep, towards the wall and left. That ball's gone! A Breggy bomb, his 19th of the year, and the Astros double up the score. It's now 4-0.
Alex Bregman picking up the slack. It's all right, big fella. Guy behind you can do some damage too. Alex Bregman with a big 2-run jack. Third hit of the evening for him. Giving the Astros a little bit extra cushion right here. 74 RBIs on the season for Alex. He continues to swing the bat extremely well. Picking up the Astros and Jordan with 2 outs.
That was a big swing for a team that had been stranding some runners here in the last few innings. As Bregman makes it a 4-0 lead. Here's Kyle Tucker, 1 for 3 with a double. That double extended his hitting streak to a career high 15, matching one earlier in the year. Alex Bregman having himself a month and a half now for the Astros. Continues to move that OPS up. McGill picks up a strike as Kyle Tucker didn't think he went around, but that'll be a strikeout to end the inning. But how about Bregman?
Coming up with a big swing, able to drop the head on this one and launch it into the Crawford box. Extending that 2-0 lead to a 4-0 lead as we head to the top of the 8th.
Chevy Stropole, favorite Correa postseason moment, and the 2017 ALCS, the Game 2 walk-off knock wins with 42%, but all of these getting a lot of votes tonight. All great moments in Astros postseason history, and we're going to take a look back at that walk-off hit. Jose Altuve with base running there to get home. Astros win 2-1. As you might remember, Justin Verlander on the mound that day. He was spectacular, striking off 13. Took a 2-0 lead on the Yankees with that win. TK?
3 walk-off hits in his career already for Carlos Correa. 2 home runs in that double. Will Smith, the new pitcher for the Astros.
Did a good job last time he was out there pitching against his former team. Won an inning, gave up a hit, struck out a Brave, throwing 11 pitches last time he was out there. Overall in the season, this will be his 50th appearance.
Figured we'd see him at least once, maybe twice in this series against the Twins. They have struggled against left-hand pitching recently. Kyle Garlick, they're hoping to get him back later on this week. Now they've lost Byron Buxton, 2 of their key hitters against left-handed pitching. As he'll face a lefty here, Max Kepler to start the inning. Kepler hooks one towards the wall in right, and that ball is going to be one-hopped and against the wall. Kepler into second base with a double. That's the first base runner for the Twins to reach second base tonight.
That's the only left-handed hitter that Will Smith is going to see. Kepler had to go down and get that slider. That slider's the best pitch for Will Smith.
Hector Neris warming up. Gio Urshela will bat next. He is struck out and grounded out. He hits a line drive into center. That'll be down for a hit. Dubon charges in a hurry. No chance for Kepler to score. But back-to-back base hits for Kepler and Urshela. Those 2 runs on the Bregman home run loom even larger now. First and third, nobody out.
Celebrate the 20th anniversary of MLB.TV with free baseball all day on August 26th. Stream live or on demand on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Now Smith getting a second left-hander here in 3 batters. As Jake Cave will hit. Probably the last batter for Smith, as there are 3 righties behind Cave. Cave swings and misses 0-1. Hector Neris still warming up. Cave struck out twice against Justin Verlander tonight. All 3 hits for the Twins coming the last 2 innings against the Astros bullpen. As Smith works ahead here 0-2. Cave hasn't had many chances to face lefties, just 1 for 7 on the year. A little tapper, and that's going to be foul. He was running down the line hard, and Smith got fooled by that. That wasn't even close to being fair. Their bench right now consists of 2 catchers, Caleb Hamilton and Sandy Leon, and also reserve infielder Tim Beckham. So Cave batting here with an 0-2 count. And he stays alive. That hit by Urshela with a runner in scoring position hasn't happened a whole lot lately for the Twins, even though the run didn't score. The Twins were just 2 for 26 in that Ranger series with runners in scoring position. Swing and a miss. That's a strikeout. Cave goes down for the 3rd time tonight. Smith picks up his first strikeout. And he sees Dusty Baker coming out of the dugout.
Now this is the slider I'm talking about. If he can keep that down and away with that late break, usually can get the swing and miss.
So 3 consecutive righties due up. And Baker is going to go to the bullpen and go to Hector Neris here with runners on the corners and 1 away. Pitching change here at Minute Maid Park. Astros lead 4-0. Young fan battling that bag. It's as big as him wearing that Astros 22 uniform.
Oh no.
But he stayed with it, and he would cross the finish line to a big round of ovation out there in right field.
He's got his buddy's jersey on.
Astros Tuesday night baseball with some young fans in attendance, leading 4-0. Out hitting the Twins 11-3, outscoring them 4-0. But 2 runners on here for Hector Neris.
Big spot for Hector Neris. Runners on the corners. He's got 1 out on the season. He will be making his 54th appearance, leading his way out of the bullpen with those numbers. 3.42 is his ERA. His last 3 outings, he's given up 3 runs.
He'll face Gary Sanchez here. He's trying to pick up his bullpen mate Will Smith, who leads with runners on the corners. Sanchez has struck out and popped up. And takes a called strike on the outside corner. Gary's former team, the New York Yankees, winning again tonight, sweeping a 2-game series from the Mets, 4-2 the final tonight. The Yankees currently 2.5 games behind the Astros for the best record in baseball. The Astros trying to push that lead back to 3 with a win tonight. On the ground towards third. Bregman will go to Altuve for 1. They turn the double play. Hector Neris comes in, throws 2 pitches, and gets a double play to get out of the 8th inning.
Sometimes you get big hits, sometimes you get big plays. Alex Bregman was on the end of both of them. After that 2-run home run, he gets a big 2-out ground ball right here and picks up Hector Neris and Will Smith. Nicely done, Hector. We shine the spotlight on strength trainer Hassel Wesson, and Jeremy Pena gives us the lowdown on life as a rookie in the big leagues. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the postgame show, only on AT&T Sportsnet.
4-0 Astros out hitting the Twins 11-3. The Twins hitting into a double play after getting first and third with nobody out. A strikeout and a double play gets them out of the top of the 8th inning. More Carlos Correa pictures, memories, recollections of his time here in an Astros uniform 2015 to 2021. Matt has his best memory back in 2015, Game 1, facing Kansas City. That was Game 1 of the ALDS. Picture with 5-year-old son Cole, signed an autograph with Cole's Mickey Mouse pen. A younger Carlos Correa there. Carlos liked Danny's tweet telling him happy birthday. And Jessica, back when he was a Corpus Christi Hook, hometown favorite. New pitcher facing the Astros bottom half of the 8th inning is Emilio Pagan.
There's the veterans' numbers. 47th appearance. 5.24 is that ERA. His whip is almost at 1.5. It'll be a fastball, change-up, give you the slider and the split. Pretty good velocity on that fastball. He's averaging 96 miles an hour on that fastball this season.
Trey Mancini 2 for 3 tonight, has knocked in a run with a double and also picked up a single his last time up. Trey tries to hold up on 94. Doesn't get the called strike, but there is a swinging strike, says first base umpire Todd Titchener. It's 0-2. Twins have used up their bullpen a little bit here over that series against Texas, and they came in without an off day. The Astros with the off day yesterday. And Pagan makes quick work of Trey Mancini, striking him out on 3 pitches here to start the 8th. The Alex Bregman home run looms large in this game. Both Cole Sands and Trevor McGill came into this game with first and second, nobody out. Sands got out of that with a strikeout, a single in the mix there, but also a double play, and it looked like McGill might get out of it too after a double play of Yordan Alvarez until Bregman hit that 2-out, 2-run home run to turn a 2-0 lead into a 4-0 lead. Now Jeremy Pena, first pitch swinging, bounces a foul. Astros trying to defeat the Twins for the 4th time this year. They swept a series up in Minnesota earlier in May. The series included a suspended game with the Astros and the Twins in Game 2 of that series. It was suspended in the top of the 4th inning with heavy rain, lightning. There was some hail that night.
Good times.
You guys snuck through the Target Center to get back to the hotel.
Oh, that was an adventure. That was a good one.
Illegally, but I think we're past the statute of limitations.
There's no guarantee on that.
1-1 to count to Pena. Meanwhile, I got drenched walking back in the street. That ball's hit hard towards left. That'll be down for a hit. Pena with a 2-hit night. After a tough road trip, good to see him start out the homestand with a couple of hits.
Good swing by Jeremy Pena, letting that ball travel. Might have been that split, kind of stayed on the inner third, but a good job of recognition and getting that pitch to hit and not missing it.
Mauricio Dubon will bat. Dubon 1 for 3. Phil Maton warming up in the Astros bullpen. There's 88, Phil Maton. It's already been a good night for the Maton family. His younger brother Nick walked off Cincinnati Reds with a base hit to win that game for the Phillies.
Nice.
So he started the celebration in Philadelphia, and Phil would like to start the handshake line tonight as Dubon has a 1-1 count. The Maton brothers scheduled to go head-to-head the final series of the year, October 3rd, 4th, and 5th here at Minute Maid Park. It's 2-1 to Dubon. Mauricio, an RBI single, got the Astros on the board in the second inning. A 2-out base hit to right. Firm fastball for a strike, 2-2. Originally with the Padres at the beginning of the season, acquired with a trade from San Diego back on April the 7th, right when the season was getting underway. Stays 2-2. Pitched with the Padres the last 2 years and now 47 games with the Twins. Also pitched in the AL West before, started his career with the Mariners in 17, then pitched for the A's in 18, and a season with Tampa Bay in 19. Now back in the American League with the Twins. Astros with a dozen hits tonight. Ground ball slowly towards third. Urshela to second, and not in time to get Dubon on the return. Beats out the relay throw and reaches on the fielder's choice. It is time to name that Astro. Powered by Reliant. We gave you these clues. Twin Cities launch, Southpaw success, come on back. Did you get Francisco Liriano? He debuted with the Twins in 05. He was acquired in that trade right before the playoffs from Toronto at the time. 14 major league seasons and a 2-time comeback player of the year. Francisco Liriano was the lefty du jour in the 2017 World Championship season. Here's Martin Maldonado. Aldi, the only one in the starting lineup looking for his first hit. He has grounded out and struck out a couple of times. This one backhanded. Urshela stays with it, bounces the throw in there, and Maldonado's retired for the final out of the inning. One hit, one man left on base. We head to the ninth, 4-0 Astros. You can't drive drunk if you don't drive there. A reminder from your friends at Silver Eagle Distributors Houston. And by H-E-B. No store does more than my H-E-B. On we go to the ninth. Hector Neris still in there, only threw 2 pitches to get 2 outs in the top half of the 8th inning as he picked up a double play. So he'll stay in there and face the top of the order in the 9th inning with a 4-0 lead. Luis Arraez, Carlos Correa, and Jorge Polanco. Twins with 3 hits tonight had their best chance last inning, 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Will Smith picked up a strikeout on Jake Cave for his final batter, and then Gary Sanchez bounced into an inning-ending double play. Kind of how it's gone lately for the Twins. They have really been struggling to find some offense. Only 6 runs in their 4 games against the Rangers coming into this series. Tonight, Justin Verlander, 6 innings of no hit, no walk baseball, struck out 10. Left the game after 91 pitches. Ryan Stanek came on, allowed a base hit to Carlos Correa, but that was it in his inning of work. Will Smith allowed a couple of hits, but Hector Neris helped him out with that double play. Now Neris trying to finish things off in the 9th. So where Neris entered the game 1st and 3rd in a 4-0 lead, the tying run was on deck. So he would qualify for a save if he picks up the final 3 outs here. Mariners are underway in their game. They play the Washington Nationals in a 2-game series in Seattle. Mariners start the night 11.5 games behind the Astros. One pitch is down. Arraez draws a walk to start the 9th inning. Our final tweets on this Twitter Tuesday. Memories and favorite recollections of Carlos Correa. Rebecca remembers sitting close to the 3rd base line, yelling out Correa and waved from the field. Rebecca's husband and son so embarrassed. The big walk-off hits, the defensive plays, the facts, Fromber pep talk. Amazing leadership, says Don. Carlos Correa, special night tonight at his return to Minute Maid Park, honored before the game with a video on El Grande on the big board, given his 2019 AL championship ring. Now 1 for 3 in his return. Batting for a 4th time. That pitch misses low. And the count's 1-1. Brian Abreu now beginning to warm up in the Astros pen. Neris has not had any outings where he has pitched more than an inning. So the up-down tonight a little different than we normally see for Neris. Dusty trying to save some of his other bullets in the bullpen and give Neris an inning and 2/3 of work tonight.
Day off yesterday. Figure everybody would be readily available. Looks like Brian Abreu's now getting loose out there in that bullpen.
Called 3rd strike at the knees with a fastball. Neris picks up a strikeout of Correa, and that's the 1st out of the 9th inning.
Didn't break. Carlos may have been looking for something else, maybe in the off-speed department. Didn't get it. Instead, the fastball rushed through the bottom part of the zone, strikes him out looking.
Now Jorge Polanco will bat. Polanco 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts tonight. First pitch fastball for a strike. Hector Neris looking for a 5-out save. Facing in, 1-1 to Polanco. Splitter missing away, 2-1. Astros road ahead is driven by DeMontron RV. 2 more with the Twins tomorrow and Thursday night. And the Twins head right back home after that game Thursday night. And a 3-game weekend series against the Orioles. Another off day on Monday. The Astros in the midst of 3 off days in the span of 11 days. I'll have a day off going into Arlington and a day off coming out of that series against the Rangers. Ball line drive into right center field for a hit. Dubon over quickly, bobbles it, and that will allow Arise to go to third base. Arise had slowed up and was going to stop at second, but once it got away from Dubon, he advanced on to third.
Polanco went out there to go get that fastball on the outside. Could see Arise was going to pull up, stop at second base, but quickly recognized that Dubon kicked that one and allowed him to gain the extra 90 feet.
That'll be a single and an error on Dubon, allowing the runner to get to third. Now Jose Miranda will bat. Miranda takes a fastball down, 1-0. Miranda second on the team and runs batted in behind Polanco. As he lines one just foul down the left field line, counts 1-1. On the ground, that'll be a base hit into left field. The Twins on the board for the first time. An RBI base hit by Miranda, his 54th run batted in on the year. And the Twins will now bring the tying run to the plate with 1 out in the 9th inning.
Calling for that fastball in. They were able to get it. Miranda really opened up that front side and was able to pull it through the hole on the left side.
Roberto Celestino, who came on when Nick Gordon had to leave the game, lined out in his one previous at bat, will bat here against Hector Neris. No signs of Brian Presley tonight. Presley and Montero both pitched the last 2 games of that series against the Braves, so they might have the night off. Abreu continues to warm up. Now Celestino batting against Neris. There's a strike. Only half dozen times this year has Neris thrown more than 20 pitches in an outing. Gets ahead 0-2. A walk and a couple of hits here in the 9th inning have made it a 4-1 game. Brandon now with 30 runs batted in his last 35 games. Good job by Maldi blocking that splitter, 1-2.
There hasn't been one swing and miss against Hector Neris in this ball game so far. That's 6 swings, 0 swings and misses.
Celestino has hit better against righties this year than lefties. There's that swing and miss as Neris picks up a strikeout. His second strikeout of the inning. Celestino down for the second out.
Well, there we go. Ask and you shall receive. The split finger working well on this pitch right here. You can see it tumbling out of the hand on our Mattress Firm Supermo under the swing of Celestino.
Now Neris will face Max Kepler, who doubled his last at bat. Kepler 1 for 3, a double and a couple of strikeouts earlier against Justin Verlander. Takes the splitter off the plate, 1-0. Pretty obvious that Dusty Baker trying to stay away from some of his leverage guys tonight. Montero and Presley in particular, probably with the night off. This ball down, it's 2-0.
Strikeout of Celestino is 15 on the night for the Astros against the Twins.
Harris threw 27 pitches in a game on the road against Kansas City earlier this year and 29 in a game against the Red Sox on the road. This is his 3rd highest pitch count of the season. It's 2-0 to Kepler. There's a strike. Now 2-2. First game of the homestand with 32,639 on hand. And a lot of them standing here with 2 outs and 2 strikes in the 9th.
Sticking with the fastball or seeing if you can't get that good action on the split, TK.
Throw a good splitter here.
I like it.
Into center field, dying quickly. That's going to be down for a hit. He did get the splitter and hit it into center field for a base hit. It's now 4-2. The tying run now on first base as the Twins rally with 2 strikes and 2 outs, and that'll bring Dusty Baker out. And he is going to go back to his bullpen for Brian Abreu. Neris needed 1 more strike to pick up a save and couldn't quite get it done.
That one stayed up just long enough. Kepler got jammed on it a little bit, just fighting it into center field, keeping this game alive.
And that split did not have the tumbling action Neris wanted, so now the tying run at first base. Neris will leave after 28 pitches, 1 shy of his season high, and Brian Abreu will now get a chance to save this game when we come back. With a couple of 9th inning runs against Hector Neris. First time this year he went a 2nd inning of work, and now he turns it over to Brian Abreu.
Abreu coming out in a tough situation right here to make his 38th appearance. He's got good numbers across the board. 2.28 is that ERA. 64 strikeouts in those 37 games. Fastball plays in the mid to upper 90s. Also has a power slider. A little bit of a changeup mixed in there. He's got 2 career saves in his 4 years in the big leagues.
One last year, got one earlier this year, as he will face Gio Urshela here with 2 on and 2 outs in the 9th. First pitch is a slider down, actually a curveball down, 1-0. Abreu picked up a save against Seattle on July 23rd, going an inning, preserving a 3-1 lead that game. And that one bounces in there on a slider. It's 2-0. Three hits in the inning, a walk, also an error in the mix. 2 runs have scored. Jose Miranda knocking in 1 run. He's on second. Max Kepler, the other RBI, he's on first. And a 2-0 count here to Urshela. Way up and in. Abreu missing with that fastball. He has missed with a curveball, slider, and a fastball, and it's 3-0, and things are getting a little dicey now.
Just a little bit. Normally a spot where you see Ryan Presley in to close things out, but he's not. This is Abreu's ball game right here.
There's a strike with a fastball. And Phil Maton was up going into the 9th inning, and they elected to stay with Neris and now bring in Abreu. Brian looking for one final out here. And that is just off the plate, ball 4. That'll load up the bases. So this inning continues with an 8th hitter to the plate for the Twins. It'll be Jake Cave. Cave has had a tough night, but he can be a hero for the Twins and Carlos Correa here as he bats with the bases loaded in a 2-run game. Cave struck out twice against Justin Verlander and struck out against Will Smith with 1st and 3rd. Tying run now at second base. Picks up a strike on the corner, 0-1.
Thank you very much.
Astros led 4-0 heading into this inning. Twins with 2 runs in, and the base is loaded, and now an 0-2 count. Cave playing his 14th game at the big league level, has spent most of the season at AAA with the St. Paul Saints, where he's played 84 games. Swing and a miss. Abreu picks up the save. His 2nd on the season, his 3rd of his career. Got a little scary there at the end, but it all ends up with an Astros 4-2 victory.
Yeah, they were testing the antiperspirant there late in the game with the 4-run lead. The bullpen came in. Hector Neris had to come out and fight a little bit. Then eventually we see Brian Abreu fight through and be able to get that slider for the big strikeout to end this ball game. Big home run by Alex Bregman and a big outing for Justin Verlander.
So the Astros hold on for a victory. They maintain their 3-game lead over the New York Yankees for the best record in the American League. The Astros postgame show presented by Whataburger will feature Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton tonight. Julian Morales will get interviews in the Astros clubhouse and also on the field after this one. Astros win 4-2 the final. We'll have the postgame show right around the corner.